It's a great Sunday afternoon. Thank you so much for making time to join us for this newscast. My name is Sandra Kahunde, welcoming you on board. We are live, coming to you live from Nile Avenue, a broadcast house, and I'm welcoming you once again for the weekly roundup, where we'll bring you highlights and top stories of what you could have missed out during the entire week. And of course, straight into our activities. Our President Yoweri Museveni this week advised Ugandans against voting leaders on the basis of sectarianism. Museveni attributes the success of NRM to a national foundation at its formation that has seen the country progress economically and politically through the years. He was addressing a celebrant during the 37th NRM Liberation Day anniversary at Kakeka grounds in Kakumiro district. Now, at the same event, Museveni also launched the insurance of land titles to the people of Bunyoro sub-region.
It is these principles that enable Uganda to build institutions such as the patriotic political parties. A party like the NRM is not a party of a tribe or a religion. It is a national political party. That's why we win elections on the first round. We have never gone for a second round. But in 1962, when they had elections based on those sectarian grounds, nobody could get even 40% of the support in the country. Because Parliament ekaba eine abakorasi kinana na babiri. Bakabata koma president niga prime minister na karuru ka abantu bona. Nokoma kwa bona bakana bakoma abakorasi bakoma prime minister. At parliament ya nkaga nebiri ekena abakorasi kinana na babiri. UPC no kwiba kwayo batunga abakorasi asatu na musanju. DP bambe ikare wejegere yatunga abiri na bana. Kabaka yeka no kwiba nengesondu zabo batunga abakorasi abiri no nkabanduho nyunkanduho imwe mkweta history nyuni mbeta current affairs nabana abagurusi bakabaroho bano basekandi bakintu bakabaroho bona baroro parliament y'abakorasi kirana na babiri hakaba atari ekitebe ecyabiri kine nimusobora kubara percentage UPC asatu na musanju no kwiba kwayo.
I stand here to say that because the people of northern Uganda, when I was coming, told me to communicate to you that with that peace and security which they have received for the first time since independence, uninterrupted, they are very sure that you are the only leader who can continue anchoring that kind of peace.
We thank you for the relentless efforts towards addressing the land question in Bunyoro sub-region, like you have done in other regions. Under the Uganda Land Fund, government has so far paid for 81,879 hectares of land at a cost of 75 billion to over 450 landlords across the country. This includes the 55 square miles in Bugangaizi and Buyaga. Bugangaizi is 55 square miles. Buyaga and Buyanja is 168 square miles of land. This is in a bid to fulfill your pledge of ensuring that Bibanja holders get tenure, safe tenure.
Now, moving on, President Yoweri Museveni this week asked the officials handling Uganda's economy economy, especially at the Ministry of Finance and the Bank of Uganda, to emulate late Mutabile's honesty. He was the first year attend the late Professor Emmanuel Mutabile Memorial Lecture held at Kampala Serena Hotel.
A big number of people have this Friday turned up at Kampala Serena Hotel to participate in the memorial lecture of the late former Bank of Uganda Governor, Professor Emmanuel Tumusime Mutabile. President Yoweri Museveni graced the event that was graced by who is who in the banking sector. The late Professor Mutabile was instrumental in helping government achieve monetary leverage through advising on the role of private sector, controlling inflation, allowing exchange rate to find its level, resistance against economic cheap popularity, and the health insurance scheme.
That if you maintain macroeconomic stability, then the private sector will be encouraged to invest, and you will get growth. Yes, some of the people in the towns may respond positively. But Mr. Kaguta, my father, is he part of the private sector? Because I told Mutevere, Mr. Kaguta is not part of the private sector. He's part of the traditional sector. A country like Uganda, maybe some of the other countries, you need to do more than using the macroeconomic tools to make people wake up and become part of the money economy.
The president cited parliamentary democracy, which delayed Uganda to construct Bujagari Power Dam and impacted on the growth of the economy. He explained that Uganda's economy challenge now is how to eliminate the corruption.
GDP ratio of 13%, what 14% is really due to the corruption in the Ministry of Finance and in the URA, although we have changed, but there is a problem there. I've told them many times, and I have quite enough evidence to show them that there is a lot of under-collection of tax in the IMF person was correct. All these new buildings, which are real estate, there's a lot of under collection of revenue. It is the corruption in the Ministry of Finance, and some of those people who were under Mutabile were not as clean as Mutabile was.
Professor Mutabile endowed staff of Bank of Uganda with a legacy of progressive policy making, which has helped them navigate the shocks hitting Uganda's economy.
Out us with the legacy of pedigree in courageous, pragmatic, and progressive policy making that has enabled the Bank of Uganda to successfully navigate the shocks hitting the economy in a world of radical uncertainty.
The Director Africa Department at the International Monetary Fund, Dr. Abebe Selassie, said had Professor Emmanuel Mutabile been alive, he would have prioritized policies like aggressive domestic revenue mobilization and financial deepening to promote economic growth. The 7th President of the Africa Development Bank, Dr. Donald Kaberuka, said the late would have insisted a lot about anchoring on the independence of the central bank and ensuring that all institutions coordinate closely.
That if Governor Mutabile was here, he would probably say, stay the course, be consistent. Don't be distracted by the crisis, manage them fairly, manage structural transformation, work on the multilateral order, and then keep the discipline, and success is guaranteed.
The Governor Central Bank of Kenya, Dr. Patrick Njoroge, said the lesson he learned from the late Mutabile was to be aware of your own vulnerabilities and never throw away the credibility of the central bank.
Conditions for the monetary union, etc., etc. But understood that we cannot rush ahead with monetary union and, should we say, common currency and all those other things without the preconditions being satisfied.
I'm Navka Farida and Stephen Kalisia in Kampala.
President Yoweri Museveni this week launched the historical drilling of Uganda's oil wells and Kingfisher oil fields of Chikuwe district. The president has rallied communities to tap into opportunities extended for socio-economic transformation.
The commencement spudding of oil wells in Kingfisher oil fields is a landmark to the commercialization of Uganda's oil. President Yoweri Museveni has pulled the historical drilling rig for the first oil well in Kingfisher oil fields.
Important. You can see how God helped us. This is fantastic. This oil you are talking about was made by God here. Because that oil you are talking about is coming from mainly plants.
He assured neighboring communities that government has established a sustainable spillovers contingent plan.
But for me, the biggest local content, which all of you can participate in, is agriculture. Producing food. Because all these people who work in the oil fields need food. Nobody has computers, one. No, alaruzuru mtu nali ya computer. Nobody yaki? Yes. Grow food so that these people buy food from you people. Eggs, chicken, milk.
Any plan or any development you do, you have to be careful about the mitigations you have should something happen. So there is the oil spill contingency plan that is in place for all these projects should that happen.
The signing of the final investment decision in February last year facilitated significant processes of downstream and upstream in oil production. These, among others, include the 440 kilometers East African crude oil pipeline EACOP.
Activists tried to interfere somehow, but we had a united voice and we were able to put in place all the laws that were required on good time. Works towards the development of the East African crude oil pipeline are currently ongoing, and this includes the engineering, procurement and construction, the construction of the coating plants in Tabora.
Kingfisher oil fields are being operated by the China National Offshore Oil Corporation (CNOOC) upon the satisfactory of geological capacities and other safety-related requirements.
We spare no effort to minimize our potential impacts and to protect the environment in our area of operation. We shall continue to ensure efficient and effective development of the Kingfisher developed area in an environmentally friendly and sustainable manner.
China has adopted a two-step strategic plan. Step one is to basically realize socialist modernization from 2020 through 2035.
Spudding of oil wells will spur other processes and infrastructure, like a central processing facility required to have a final product to market.
When you're ready to turn on the taps, when the CPF is ready, and when the Kabale custody transfer point is ready, and then you start evacuating that volume to market.
We are clearing the ground, we are compacting it, and we are getting it ready for the facilities or that have to be constructed within the CPF facility.
Government entities have committed business strategists to look for potential financiers and offshore partners to develop the oil sector.
You've taken care of the technical planning, the legal and regulatory environment is clear, the resettlement action planning is according to good standards, recognizable standards, and the investment is profitable. You'll attract the financing. So now as we structure this business, we have to start thinking of the commercialization plan or the trading of that allocation of the crude. So today I wouldn't tell you that we've locked in an agreement with a refiner in the Middle East or Singapore Those are the usual destinations, but it's something that we are working on as we prepare to receive the crude.
Petroleum Authority of Uganda is set to establish a real-time monitoring facility for oil production in Uganda.
This is a facility where information from all the activities in the oil and gas sector will be relayed and received in real time.
Kingfisher oil fields are expected to harbour 31 oil wells with capacity of 40,000 barrels per day in first 5 years. Government working with partners are striving to deliver the 2025 projection of producing the first oil. Abdul Nasser Luwama for UBC.
The 2022 primary leaving examinations were this week released during a ceremony held at State House, Nakasero. The Minister for Education and Sports, First Lady Janet Kataha Museveni, released examinations and commended the remarkable 1.7% performance improvement in the universal primary education schools.
The 2022 primary leaving examination results have been released with a performance improvement of 1.7% in universal primary education schools. Out of the 832,654 candidates registered from 14,691 centres, 583,768, which is 70.1%, were from UPE schools, while 248,982, which is 29.9%, were from non-UPE schools.
It's my singular pleasure to release the 2022 primary leaving examination results to the public.
The Minister for Education and Sports, Janet Kataha Museveni, has attributed this to the strengthening public confidence into the program.
These statistics, therefore, indicate the rising confidence the people of Uganda have put in UPE.
At the release of 2022 primary leaving examination results, it has been established that the number of absenteeism and dropouts is increasing.
We want to inform the country with certainty what we know about what is bringing this dropout rate, so that if there is a way we can put an end to it, we do it as government. And we will not stop until we inform the country about what we consider to be our solution. I also appeal to the parents and guardians to play an active role in providing both the physical and emotional support children require during the course of their education and the examination period. Once a child is registered for an examination, that child must sit for that examination.
The detailed score in the 2022 primary leaving examinations indicates that 114,617, which is 14.1%, passed in Division 1, 357,799, which is 44.1%, passed in Division 2, 146,583, which is 18.1%, passed in Division 3, 95,702, which is 11.8%, passed in Division 4. A total of 97,109, which is 12%, were ungraded. At least 2.5% registered candidates did not sit for the PLE exams.
The percentage of candidates that are registered but did not take the examination for one reason or the other. Whereas this number had been steadily decreasing, as we can see from 2017, unfortunately, for some reason that we still have to discover, this number went up by, and we now have 2.5% of the candidates who were absent.
The examination board is requesting for more funding to plan adequately to the pupils with special needs.
It should be noted, however, that the funding given to UNEB for the UPE candidates has remained static for the last 5 years. This impacts negatively on the budget and the body's ability to effectively deliver on its mandate.
for the selection of those joining post-primary set between the 2nd and 3rd of February of 2023 at Uma Grounds, Lugogo.
The date for reporting to school for Senior 1 will be the 20th of February 2023.
The Minister for Education and Sports, Janet Katamo, 7 instructed schools not to increase school fees.
Has guided that all schools maintain the fees structure for 3rd term of 2022 as we await further guidance on government on this matter. Now that we are aware of the high commodity prices that have greatly affected the cost of running schools and life in general, but we must also be considerate of the plight of those parents and guardians.
Education stakeholders are cautioned on their participation in examination malpractice.
I therefore sound a strong warning to all head teachers who have been found attempting to institutionalize cheating by cutting open questions paper envelopes to access the questions before time, the question papers prior to the designated examination time, to desist this evil.
The primary leaving examination were conducted on the 8th and 9th of November 2022 under the theme Integrity and Security in the Management of Examinations. The health and safety of learners is a joint responsibility. This set of examinations marked 25 years of universal primary education since its inception in 1997. Abdul Nasser Lubwama for UBC.
This year's Tarehe Sita celebration is to be held in Greater Mbarara region as part of the fulfillment of Ronasa liberation struggle. The Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Thomas Taebwa, commends the UPDF for its continued role in stabilizing peace and security not just in Uganda but across the region.
As part of the commemorations of this year's 42 Tarehe Sita anniversary celebrations, Uganda People's Defence Forces has organized a series of events, including but not limited to tree planting to mitigate climate change. Speaking during the launch of Tarehe Sita event, the Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Thomas Taebwa, commended the UPDF for its continued efforts towards realizing stability of the country and steering infrastructure development projects.
We were on the verge of being a failed state. This was not only a failure of politics, but mainly a failure of managing the military. But since the success of NRA in 1986, we have not had any single coup, and we have not had any unstable change of government. Every transition we are having is out of people's way. This is a true transformation of our army, and I want to congratulate you upon that.
The Minister of Defense and Veteran Affairs, Vincent Sempija, notes that this year's celebrations of Tarehe Sita will take place in Mbarara as fulfillment of the Fronasa Liberation Circuit and consolidate the historical footprints of the founders of the liberation.
The battles along Mbarara, Kabale Road, in areas of Lugando, Rwampara, the killing of many Ugandans at Rwemiyenje, the establishment of the camp at Chigaragara, Chishumba sub-county and Ngarama sub-county, Isingiro, Kakoba and the Kamukuzi locations played a crucial role in sealing the people's resolve to liberate the country from misrule.
This year's theme will center on recognizing the sacrifices of the founders of the People's Revolution for socio-economic transformation, and as such, UPDF has pledged to continue following the founding principles of the army by putting citizens on the center of gravity.
And in our choice of the theme, we are mindful that UPDF is a force which was founded on revolutionary principles, and we normally use such occasions as the Defense Forces Week to reclarify our character as a people's army. An army with a correct ideological foundation that shuns sectarian tendencies while embracing national interests, an army with a correct military doctrine that recognizes the people as their center of gravity and hence never ever get tempted to turn to guns against the masses, whether inside Uganda or around the region.
Tarehe Sita is celebrated annually by UPDF every 6th of February to remember the day that 27 National Resistance Army attacked Kabamba barracks that sparked the beginning of the revolution. Sada Mubale, UBC News, Kampala.
The Minister of Defense and Veteran Affairs, Vincent Bamlanga Chisempija. Well, that is to do with the previous story that we just looked at. More clarification, just getting into a talk that did transpire during the week. Parliament this week censored a State Minister for Housing Passes, Namuganza. And of course, Namuganza was accused of unparliamentary conduct for which she refused to apologize.
I, Namuganza Passes Princess, swear in the name of the Almighty God
this oath came with commitment to serve.
And when they get the corrupt and evidence is there, let them be brought to book, even if it's me. Because there has been a lot of corruption tendencies, but people are left.
These were words of Passes Namuganza shortly after officially assuming office as a call for duty, which the parliamentary motion of censure has cut short.
Lutaya Geoffrey, Right Honourable Speaker, I vote yes.
Over 300 members of parliament have voted from a 7-member select committee by Mbarara South Member of Parliament, Mwine Mpaka.
That the media interviews and statements made by Honourable Passes Namuganza Princess attacking the integrity of Parliament, its proceedings and resolutions were made outside Parliament and therefore not privileged, and she has no immunity derived from them. These amounted to contempt of Parliament.
The committee was selected to analyze evidence in the censure motion against Minister Namuganza. And these are some of the committee findings and recommendations.
The committee, having found prima facie evidence to prove the allegations contained in the motion and supporting documents, prays that this report be adopted by the House and leads the House under Rule 109B of the Rules of Procedure of Parliament in the proceedings of censure against Honourable Namuganza Princess from the Office of the Minister for State, Lands, Housing and Urban Development.
Members of Parliament agree to the recommendations.
I appeal to everybody, let us all be counted to vote against indiscipline. To vote against indiscipline. All members of Parliament, we are equal.
It is very ironical and very hypocritical for us to sit here and make laws and expect the citizens of this country to abide by those laws when we cannot abide by our simple rules of procedure.
Right Honourable Speaker, therefore I support the report that this single person be treated in a way that will not continue to taint our image.
To the legislators, this serves as a lesson to other position holders.
You have no capacity to be minister because a minister must be a person who has integrity, then who can advise also fellow MPs.
But out of 356 MPs who attended Monday's plenary sitting,
I, Leonie Odria, vote no.
5 voted no, while 3 abstained.
I don't know what abstentions would mean, but I'm not voting yes or no.
Moses Wariomo is Kagoma County Member of Parliament.
Right, Honourable Speaker.
He and others had reason for a position they took.
The motion has been carried that Honourable Namuganza Passes be censured, and as required under Rule 109 Sub-Rule 13 of our Rules of Procedure, I will inform the President accordingly within 24 hours.
How can we kill almost a whole day just debating personalities?
Thirdly, there have been lots of conflict of interest in this matter. Therefore, I do not want to associate myself with issues that are ill-formed.
I was not convinced if I was to be a judge. I was not convinced because the things they were got from the medias, like WhatsApp.
The minister here, according to my own personal assessment, I don't think she has serious issues of abuse of office. But if you look at the issue of misconduct, there's nobody who is perfect.
Namganza is faulted for what MPs say was her role in the Naguru-Nakawa land allocation and contempt of parliament. Henry Okurut, UBC.
In more news, the Minister for Lands, Judith Nabakova, this week ordered for an immediate arrest of Mafumo Paul, whom she accuses of shunning directives barring him from forcefully evicting tenants in Mubende district. Nabakova's return to Mubende district follows a directive by the Speaker of Parliament, Annette Anita Among, directing her ministry to visit the locus.
Last week, the Speaker of Parliament, Anita Among, tasked the Lands Minister, Judith Nabakova, to visit Mubende district, following reports of wide evictions happening in the area.
On Thursday, I raised a matter of national importance on the floor of the Parliament about the land wrangles in Mubende.
And I want to thank the Honourable Minister for responding this fast. We did not even expect that she would be stepping in as soon as she has done.
Over the weekend, Minister Judith Nabakova heeded to the directive by visiting the district.
3 things disturbing us: ignorance, corruption and greed. Those 3.
Mr. Nabakova convened this land meeting that was dominated by outcries from residents as they all pinned one Mafumo Paul for threatening to evict them.
Mafumo Paul, this man is slippery. He causes a lot of mayhem around here, but he's not touched. People have registered a number of cases, but those cases are not investigated.
Local leaders, the RDC, members of parliament, land officials and security personnel all attended this meeting.
He came here, sprayed some people's food crops, some people's gardens, and he went untouched. When the police officers or the other authorities that are supposed to enforce his arrest or his interrogation are approached, they actually give them a deaf ear. We want this to stop. This must stop.
After listening to all the speakers, Minister Nabakova laid fears in regards to eviction.
There are cases of malicious damage, but up to now, nobody has been arrested. We need action to be taken, because that is the only way we can restore the confidence of the people in an area. Somebody's garden is cut, then you hear people are just walking around saying nothing will be done to us. It should stop. We need action. Let them tell us what exactly happened. Then State House Anti-Corruption is going to investigate these issues in Mubende, but also investigate the conduct of the respective agencies. Because you've heard when people were submitting, making their submissions, they are talking about police, they are talking about lands ministry, they are talking about RDC's office, the number of offices that are being talked about.
As the community points at one Mafumo Paul as an unknown land claimant, Minister Nabakova directed for his arrest.
Several calls I made to him, he never picked any, over 10 times.
Now RDC and OC and CID, I want Mafumo. Mafumo has a number of cases. That's why I'm insisting.
So many.
A number of cases. He's related in 2 land disputes in this area. I hear now even Kayunga. We cannot allow that to continue. Who is he anyway? Who is he? You are just dilly-dallying. Others you run very fast to arrest. But this one, it is very difficult to get him. Yet you know even his number. Let him come and explain.
This is not the first time Minister Nabakova is visiting the district, and particularly attending to this similar matter.
But what disappoints me is leaving instructions on what to be done, and you end up not getting even a report on what has so far been done by the agencies.
Robert Nyango, UBC News.
The past District Governor, District 9213 Rotary International, John Magezi, this week handed over certificates to youths of Kamocha who have completed a one-month training at a Treasure Life Youth Center in Kamocha. Over 200 youths attended, and 95 completed the training and were awarded with certificates of completion in mindset change training, a tailoring bakery, a videography, among others.
At least over 200 youths from Kamocha suburb have completed a month-long training in different fields and awarded with certificates of completion. The Rotary Club of Kampala North handed over tailoring machines, cameras, among other equipments to support Treasure Life Center Kamocha to continue equipping skills to youths in the community. The past District Governor, District 9213 Rotary International, John Magezi, says the equipment is to support the youth center and empower other youths in the community acquire vocational skills. Magezi urges the youths to use the skills obtained to start up businesses and also extend a hand to other youths in the country.
As you can see, so we had been giving certificates and also providing the equipment to support this center.
Related in the same conversation, the District Governor Rotary International, District 9213, Rotarian Mike Sebalu, this week appealed to Ugandans to put education first. Well, this was at an event where assorted educational items were donated to by the Rotary Club of Sonde Mukono and the Rotary Club Unjero in Buikwe under the theme of Youth Rising through promoting literacy and reading skills.
Government has come up with a number of programs aimed at eradicating poverty from communities, but most of these programs have not achieved their desired intentions due to negative mindset among recipients. It is for this reason that the Ministry of ICT has now come up with a national mindset education program aimed at ensuring sustainability of government programs.
Have not worked very well because there are programs where we have put money in the past. Even as government, we put their money, but we didn't go strong on working on the minds and thinking of people. Where I come from, the men tend to be quite polygamous. So you give them money for a wealth creation project, and this man goes to marry a second or even a third wife. So you gave him the money so that it gets him out of poverty, but now the money probably even multiplies his poverty, because once he marries another wife, then he's multiplying his commitments and costs, isn't it?
The Commissioner for Communication and Information Dissemination, Moses Watassa, advised the youth to use internet for developmental purposes and to shun away from immorality.
So program yafe ya mind endowooza mind endowooza tugenda kulaba nti naddala abaana bato bakuba kati TV nyingi mikutu gya internet abaana kati kumpi buli omu alina smartphone kiba kitegeeza nti bwe tutaabasomese ne tukwata ku kintu kino tusobola okufiira abaana baffe.
The chairman, International Youth Fellowship Uganda, Reverend James Kim, emphasized the need for innovation and to stop expecting government to provide everything.
But how Korea was able to develop the country is not because of we have a lot of national resources. It is not because of we receive a lot of support from UK, from America, but our grandfather generations, they had a strong mind. And they don't want to deliver their poverty to next generations. That's why, with their strong heart, instead of just they are waiting government to support them, or instead of they are waiting for others to help them, with what they have, they all work together, and all Korean, 50 million Korean become volunteers. They start to serve their country and work for the country, work for the community, and they are able to develop. Now, this is Korea where we are now.
Mary Namkose, UBC News.
Well, that update had to do with the Ministry of ICT embarking on a national mindset education program to youths and government employees aiming at shaping minds and positive thinking. And there we saw the Ministry of ICT, the Commissioner of Communication and Information Dissemination, Moses Watasa, are saying that wrong mindset is the root cause of government programs. Now, in an earlier update that was supposed to be looking at, that is in relation to the Rotary, the District Governor Rotary International, District 9213, Rotarian Mike Sebalu appealing to Ugandans to put education first. And this was at an event where assorted educational items were donated to by the Rotary Club of Sonde Mukono and the Rotary Club Munjero in Buikwe under the theme of youth rising through promoting literacy and reading skills.
International District 9213 Rotarian Mike Sebalu says the club is looking forward to empowering the youth to be better people. This was at an event where the world's biggest service organization donated scholastic materials. Sebalu appealed to parents to nurture their children responsibly. He particularly urged the parents to inspire their children into appreciating community libraries in their areas to improve their reading abilities and enriching their knowledge.
But we also call upon local government to support these community libraries.
Sebalu said that they are going to support community libraries so that young people in their community can improve their vocabulary and reading abilities.
Rotary clubs, we are interesting Rotary clubs to get community libraries that they work with. Now Sonde has come here. In Jinja, in all the places, clubs are partnering with community libraries. So one of the things that we expect the clubs to do is to support these community libraries.
A lecturer at Chambogo University, Caroline Kavuma, appealed to the government to supply books to community libraries in support to expanding reading skills among the people.
The government and the Ministry of Education in particular needs to involve themselves more in supporting reading beyond the school. Through community libraries, we can give books, donate books to these libraries. We could also ask teachers, because in this entire community, there are teachers who are in holiday. Those teachers can come and do voluntary hour sharing of their skills with the children.
We came up with this idea of delivering books right to the doors of households around the nearby communities, villages. We wanted to keep our kids engaged in reading.
The Rotary Club of Sonde, together with Youth Rising Salama Mukono, donated pens, books, textbooks, sanitary towels, among other scholastic materials to learners. They also donated 5 bicycles for easy reach to every child in the community in need of reading materials.
Are you amazing?
Yes, we are!
Send transport to the wrong person. Here's how to reverse it with MTN Mobile Money. Dial *165#. Select My Account. Select Initiate Reversal. You will see your last 3 transactions. Select the transaction you want to reverse. Enter your mobile money PIN and you'll get an SMS confirmation that the transaction has been blocked from being withdrawn. And that's it. Please note, only transactions that haven't been withdrawn can be reversed.
Susan, I want to propose to Rose. Yes, and this time I am serious.
Have you guys had sex?
Duh, of course.
And have you had sex without using condoms?
Hey, nga you're curious.
I'm more concerned. Are you having sex with other people?
Hey, hello. Is this an interview or what?
No, just things you should think about. Do you know Rose's HIV status?
Okay, this is serious. Should I be worried?
It is actually serious. Do you know your HIV status?
I think I am safe. Many times we get into situations that put us at risk of HIV. However, the first step to ending HIV is getting tested and knowing your results.
It's Time Up HIV. Call 0800-211-046 or text 8080 toll-free for more information about how to prevent HIV.
This message is brought to you by Ministry of Health with support from USAID.
Get the most affordable 4G smartphone in Uganda from Airtel. Now heavily discounted from 250,000 shillings to 150,000 shillings only. Yes, 150,000 shillings only to keep you connected to your loved ones.
Dial *175*94# to activate free 1 GB instantly and 100% double data on all weekly and monthly bundles for 3 months. Get one today while stock lasts from the nearest Airtel shop. With Airtel, the smartphone network.
Soka numpa hemanga tona dinda yenyonta esuse kodia alasoga myuse nenkalamateri wanenyula yonyambe umpe okuhema cause I love you hema everybody know oh hema maziganga gampomela.
The Ministry of Health informs the public that a second round of the house-to-house polio immunization campaign will take place from Friday, the 20th of January to Monday, the 30th of January 2023 in the following 4 districts that were affected by the Ebola outbreak: Kasanda, Mubende, Mukono, and Wakiso. During this house-to-house polio immunization campaign, health workers will come to your homes, workplaces, schools, daycare centers, places of worship, and other community gatherings and immunize all your children below 5 years of age. Please cooperate with the health workers and give them access to your homes to vaccinate all your children aged 5 years and below against polio. It is important to note that this house-to-house polio immunization campaign does not replace routine immunization. The polio vaccine is safe, effective, and free.
Parents and guardians, please ensure that all your children below 5 years of age are immunized against polio during the second round of the polio immunization campaign from Friday 20th of January to Monday 30th of January 2023 in the following 4 districts: Kasanda, Mubende, Mukono, and Wakiso. This message is from the Ministry of Health with support from UNICEF, World Health Organization, and partners.
Okay, so this receipt, okay, plus this one equals
Keeping up with your transaction history the old way.
1,000. Okay, I got this. I don't. Okay, maybe if I can just.
Keeping up with your transaction history with the My Airtel app. You have the power in your pocket. The power to keep an eye on your transaction history. Unlock that power with the My Airtel app. Visit the App Store or Google Play now.
Welcome back. Good news still watching and following the weekly news roundup. Now on to business updates. Investors in coffee farming this week were advised to penetrate the global market and ensure they add value to Ugandan coffee beans. Ambassador Judith Nsababera was meeting at the Coffee Investment Consortium Uganda, the Coffee City in Kampala. The Council General Ambassador China Guangzhou and the Senior Presidential Advisor Regional Matters pledged her commitment to search for markets in China for Uganda's coffee entrepreneurs.
Coffee is a perennial crop grown in almost all the districts of Uganda, especially central, eastern, and western parts of the country. It is one of the most important cash crops in Uganda, playing a major role in the livelihoods of many people and as a major foreign exchange earner for the country. There are 2 main types of coffee grown in Uganda, mainly Arabica and Robusta coffee. Most of the coffee farmers have been trading it locally without value addition. Now, investors in the country have come out strongly to boost the sector. Nelson Tugume from Inspire Africa processing factory, is championing the value addition and is spreading the gospel globally.
If we only concentrated on China, with already 100% tariff tax-free, 100% tariff tax-free, and what that means, if only China, 5% of Chinese take our coffee, we actually don't need to go in any other market. I don't think we are shooting a wrong button. I think we are on the right button. A strategy, and we are done.
While meeting the Coffee Investment Consortium Uganda at the Coffee City in Kampala, the ambassador of Uganda to Guangzhou, China, Ambassador Judith Nsabavera, pledged her commitment to help identifying markets in China.
So really, I just wanted to give briefly, just to let you know, one, I'm here to work for you. I'm here to sell your coffee however way you want me to sell it, I'm here to sell it. But like you said, the difference between $3 on green bean to $50 on a roasted coffee is really quite a big margin.
Yep.
The Chinese people will tell you that if we buy the roasted coffee, we buy the ground coffee, it's going to lose its oomph or flavor by the time it gets to China. I'm also happy to share with you that I worked on getting Uganda Airlines to fly directly from Guangzhou from Entebbe to Guangzhou. So there's a direct flight. So if there's any issues of saying we can't put coffee on the ship, we have a plane that can take the coffee, right?
Nsabavera, however, urged Ugandans to always buy Ugandan agricultural produce and popularize them abroad as a way of generating more money in the country.
There's a historic aspect of coffee here in Uganda, which we need to explore. Not many people drink coffee here. I couldn't get up without talking to anybody before I drink a cup of coffee.
The Bishop of South Ankole Diocese, retired Reverend Nathan Ayimbisiwe, appealed for mass coffee sensitization, starting with the church. He explained that he has already embarked on spreading the gospel of coffee growing in the country.
Every Sunday, we have 281 churches in our diocese. Even if every Sunday we choose Coffee Sunday, we call it Coffee Sunday because we are growing coffee, and we say this Sunday is Coffee Sunday. We have ambassadors who are going to teach about coffee, drinking coffee, but at the end of it all, they pray for coffee growers. You attach it with prayer. If you don't attach it with prayers, you'll miss it.
Joseph Bule, UBC.
It's super fast internet. Oh, it's a super camera. It's a super battery.
Phone battery full.
Yeah, it's a super deal. Get the Kabode Super from MTN now at a reduced initial deposit of only 49,000 shillings and pay the balance in Pola for as low as 833 shillings per day. Grab this Super Kabode deal this Christmas and get 2 GB of free MTN data every month for 8 months. Get the Kabode Super now from any MTN shop countrywide. Everywhere you go, MTN.
Regulated by UCC.
Welcome back. Now, before we let you go enjoy your Sunday afternoon, a look at sports. The Edgar's Youth Program has climaxed its 2022-2023 holiday activities with several engagements at Aga Khan Primary School in Kampala. The Fan Field Day was punctuated by finals starting from the players aged 5 and below.
That will be
all kids on one pitch and play and enjoy as a team. And today's theme is about the reason why we organize this tournament. Everyone have that participation, to enjoy, to have that fun, to have that feel of the ball. So that they go back home when they are all excited. That's the reason why we put up a holiday program, so that at the end of the holiday, we come up with an activity that combines all kids from all venues. We play tournament on one pitch, so that everyone gets to know each other, and we go back home and very happy.
Okay, which areas of football did you focus on tactically and technically?
Actually, we focused on mostly on the technical parts, because that's what we teach in young players, the technical parts. How to pass the ball, the technical.
Which parts of the technical did you focus on?
That is passing the ball, using the inside part of the leg, the dribbling of the ball using the shoelaces.
This has been the best!
Okay.
It has been the best. So far we're going to play a match right now, so we're preparing ourselves. We're going to play this match. I don't know which team we're going to get, but this holiday has been great, and now we're going to hopefully want to win this match.
What have you learned during the holiday?
I mostly learned to take care of myself and hop around and also play some more soccer.
Now more from sports. The January edition of the International Tennis Federation and the Uganda Tennis Association Tennis for All National Junior Open Championship came to a close last evening with 5 girls and 6 boys between the ages of 6 and 17 claiming titles. The 4-day event played at the Lugogo Tennis Court was the first of many aimed at growing and developing a tennis talent from the grassroots.
Among the many young people that walked away with trophies in the January Tennis for All National Junior Open Championship are Blessing Lamara, Okelo Samuel, Ricky Ongen, Olivia Natukunda, Latif Sendioya, Nabiro Edna, and Agonzeba Francis.
And being in this tournament, I feel also because I got experience from Rondi tournament, it helped me to reach the finals and to make it to the first position.
The tournament was played in 5 categories: under 8, under 10, under 12, under 16, under 18, and saw over 200 youngsters showcase their tennis talent in knockout games. The games were played at the Lugogo Tennis Courts between the 24th to the 27th of January 2023 in a grade 4 format.
And of course, with these competitions, there's a lot of exposure and talent identification. So our next steps is to make sure that the winners from the stage of about quarterfinals enter a national performance program. We need to polish skill, prepare them for international events. I believe that the more we have such competition, the more we give a platform and build assets that sponsors are interested in. Now is to make sure that our national performance program is working fully. Even those who competed, we would like to have more grade tournaments. You will see in the future as we break them down to 1, 2, and 3. We have the elite players at the top, we have the intermediate ones, and those who are beginning, because we believe everyone must get an opportunity to compete at their level. And as we try to get the best players in our talent identification pathway, we then feed them into the national performance programs and on towards the national teams.
Since we shall be having international events from ITF soon to come, so it is so much important to make sure that we have more competition amongst ourselves.
Going forward, the Tennis for All National Junior Championship will be a monthly tournament and will have more grades as time goes on. Grace Joyce Kemigisa, UBC News.
Well, it's a wrap for this hour. Those are some of the top stories or highlights that you could have missed out during the week as far as our weekly news roundup is concerned this day, the 29th day, January 2023. Well, the entire team and I wish you a great day and a fruitful week ahead. Keep watching UBC has been inspired. Take care.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
My name is Charles Peter Maiga, the Katikiro of Buganda. It's very important to groom and nurture children